Hi guys, welcome to my channel. And you guys have read the title of the video. It's pretty self-explanatory. I am going to be talking about the books that I've read in the month of August, and I will explain a little bit why I'm doing this video. And there is a possibility that more videos like that are coming because I'm taking a gap year, basically not necessarily a year, a few months. I have like a few goals that I want to accomplish during these months, and one of the goals is to read more. I sort of like set a few goals for the reading part, that in a week I want to read these many books, in a month I want to read these many books. And I am not a serial reader. I'm less disciplined basically when it comes to reading, and I don't want to be that anymore. I am gonna use these videos as sort of like an accountability thing, and this video is about the whole month, but from now on I will try to make, one video a week. And even if it's one book that I've read, I will sort of like, talk about it. I'm sorry if the light is like getting dimmer or brighter because I'm just using natural light and it's a cloudy day. So with that said, I think everything is explained. I've read sort of like 3 books in the month of August. It's basically 2.5, and my goal for the month of August was to read 4 books, but during this month I had to go away from my home for more than a week. So I think 3 books is alright, especially considering that these are like really thick books. So the first book that I read is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. The full title is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. It is exactly that, a history of humankind, but the way this book is written is more in like a style of a story. So when you start reading it, it's more like, okay, we are present in a settings that is like 17 billion years ago, and then you sort of like travel with the species, and that is like Homo sapiens. The main idea that the author is trying to tell is that he divides the whole journey of evolution in 4 parts. So the first part is cognitive revolution, in which like our minds were evolved and they developed as like very complex organs. And the second part is agricultural revolution, pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure that all of us have heard about it. And then the third one is, I was expecting an industrial revolution, but he talks about it as in like the unification of humankind, and it's more like a mix of industrial revolution, globalization. The last one is the technological revolution. If you want to know more about like the cognitive and agricultural revolution, this is a good one, but he does not touch on the technological aspect in this book very much, because I read 21 lessons for the 21st century before reading Sapiens, and the technological aspect is more talked about in that book rather than in this book. Overall, I really liked it. It explained a lot of things. One of the very interesting ideas that the book talked about was the idea of gossiping, and how it was important for humans as communities to be united. And then when like the number of humans started to increase, that villages turned into towns and towns turned into cities, gossiping wasn't really helping in the unification of the whole community or nation. So that's when the religion comes in, and religion helps to unite the whole community or the nation. So the whole thing was really interesting. It talks about gender, talks about politics. The vocabulary was easy. There are like comparisons between the people of the old age, which were not so evolved and technologically advanced, and then us, and kind of makes you envious of those people. But it is a good read. I would give it sort of like 4 to 5 stars, like 4.5 stars out of 5. Now on to the second one. My second read was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë, and man, I am not into fiction very much, but this book was so good. So first of all, I think the reason why this book just felt so nice was it's not just romance. It still touches a lot of the topics which are not necessarily romantic. For example, it talks about religion, it talks about patriarchy, and there are like other romantic aspects. See, the thing about me is that I'm not really interested in love affairs and stuff, but there are other romantic aspects of life that I am like really interested in. For example, how the imagery is, the setting, and all of those things. And this the setting of this book is like rural England of Victorian era. It's like very picturesque. There are like trees and hills, and most of the scenes are very gloomy. And also the character Jane Eyre, she is such a feminist queen. I mean, there are quotations from the book which are literally like a feminist manifesto. This was an amazing book, and something really important that I admired about this book is how it shows the whole situation in, like, you know, multiple layers. For example, when it talks about the topic of religion, you see kind of like a bad clergyman and sort of like a better clergyman. So it really explains how she sees religion, and towards the sort of like the first this much of the book, she is not like a very religious person, and towards like this part of the book, she's quite religious. She's being grateful to God, she's doing prayers and all of those things, not necessarily in a very Christian way, because a lot of her actions are not very Christian. For example, she has an affair with a guy, so that's not very Christian. Overall, it was probably the best English classic novel that I've read so far. But see, I was very pleased with this novel, and after that I started reading Far from the Madding Crowd by Thomas Hardy, and I haven't finished it yet, okay? I have read almost like 140 pages, and I still have to read almost till 340 or something. So the thing is, I'm not enjoying it. I think the reason why I'm not enjoying it is because within the first 10 pages I read something that was sexist, and it was like a generalized thing about women, and it just set me in a bad mood. And one thing I will say, that one of the romantic aspects about the book is that it again paints a picture of beautiful landscapes, and the way the narrator is describing the story and the scene, that is really good. He would just like first tell us a generalized scene, and then we'll add details, and then we'll introduce the character by saying, okay, there was a shadow, that was the silhouette, it seemed like it's a girl, it seemed like it's a boy, it seemed like it's angry, it's walking, it's doing this, it's doing that. As a reader, when you visualize it, it's very pleasing. But then there are a lot of generalized things. It really shows that this is a book written by a female author who knows how women feel, and who knows how a woman would act in a certain situation. Whereas this one, it just like, I don't know, I haven't read that much of Thomas Hardy. This is my first book, and I haven't read much about the author himself. I don't know if he's known for making these sort of generalized remarks about women, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm making a big mistake putting all of my opinion on YouTube, but this is just what I think. Again, I'm just 140 pages in. Maybe after a while my perception of the book changes, but yeah, that's it. These are like the 3 books that I read during the month of August. Sorry if I was sweating all the time because the fan is off, it's pretty hot. Okay, that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed the review. It was pretty casual. I will hopefully see you next week as well. I'm planning on reading Dystopia. I'm hoping that I will read 2 books in a week. I already have my hands on one of the books. The second one I might read as an ebook because I can't really find it in any old book school. I was gonna say old book schools, old book stores here in the city I live in. On that note, I will say goodbye to you guys, and bye.